Hi, once again, family. Greetings. I'm coming at you today because I want to talk about some hope for President Ibrahim Traore and the other countries that are uniting with his revolutionary movement in Africa. Um, it looks like another country, Botswana, President Boko from Botswana has just announced recently that he is also in a alliance with Traore, and I think that's wonderful because, I believe that more and more African countries are beginning to see that what he is doing, regardless of the storm that he is going to face, is the right thing to do. You know, um, it's like a man does what he has to do, not what he wants to do. And even when you're facing money, money is a very powerful influencer that can turn brother against brother, and blood against blood, best friends against friends, just like another powerful because I call it like an addiction drug is sex or whatever, can turn family, brothers and sisters against each other. You know what I mean? And it's like, but what I'm witnessing is that the people, these presidents are realizing that it's either do or die. That they're at a point right now that they have to show that they are true in their leadership and that they love the people that they're leading and that they love the mother continent of Africa. And when you love your homeland, you got to be willing to put in your greatest fight to your last breath. I was listening to the president of Botswana as he was declaring his alliance with Traore. He talked about how there's a difference with Traore. Um, Other leaders, I'll give you an example. This leader in Nigeria, um, old guy, been there for a long time. He's been a puppet for Europeans and the U.S. for many years. He has a very handsome ransom for payment. As a president. As leader of that country, and he's stuck in his ways, old ways, that it's all about him and his family, and as long as he could pacify the people with a bunch of broken promises, it's good enough for him, so it better be good enough for them. And what I'm looking at is what President Boko of Botswana was referring to was that he admires how Traore leads. When Traore has a meeting with his inner circle, as well as with members of Burkina Faso, and they come up with a decision, Traore goes to sleep and wake up, and the next day that plan is in action. He's not waiting for permission from Europeans or the colonizers to, tell them what they can do. And this is the problem with the sellout presidents over in Africa. The people will tell them what they want to do. The president will tell them that they're going in a certain direction, and it's usually words that are pleasing to the people to move forward, and it's always turn out to be a lie. However, how they make this lie work is because they make a decision to do something in their country, whether it's healthcare or something that has to do for the good of the people, and they'll have a meeting, and then they'll have another meeting, and then they'll have another meeting. And all these meetings take months to plan. And before you know it, years have gone by. 1 year, 2 years. And what this does is it gives that president, the sellout, a chance to give time to, first of all, tell his plan for his people to the colonizers, and then give the colonizers a chance to work their plan in, so that at the end result, the people remain poor, the president of that country remains paid, and Europe comes out like a bandit, right? And the U.S. come out like a bandit. And this has been the protocol for hundreds of years, for a very, very long time. Traoré say enough of that shit. We ain't doing that. When we make a decision and the people are in agreement with it, and in all of his decision is for his people. It is not self-centered. It is not for him. And it's not for his inner circle. It is truly for his people, and the people can see that. And this is why the people of some of the surrounding countries that are not in alignment with Traoré, they are really saying and putting up pictures of Traoré, letting their leadership know that they really want that type of leadership, the kind that is portrayed by Ibrahim Traoré. And, quietly, the rumbles of some seats, some thrones are going to be overthrown, in the future if things continue to go as they are, I'll give you another example. Well, let me say this here. Another thing is talking about is how democracy, Traoré say this is not a democracy, this is a revolution, and President Boko agreed because, and it makes sense, democracy does work, it does work. However, only when it is implemented fairly. In Africa, it has never been implemented fairly. Even in America, it has never been implemented fairly. All right, we know this here, right? And other people that might act like they don't know, some of the whites or others that's been the sideliners looking on, and also benefiting from, this lopsided democracy. But in Africa, it has never been meant, democracy in Africa has been a tool, just as the Bible, when they came with the Bible and they came with the cross, right? And if that didn't persuade or influence the people to come and think their way, then it was the bullet, right? And then after the bullet, you understand, then they come with democracy. Now, and it's all in the same thing. Traoré sees through that there. So Traoré says, nah, forget that. This is a revolution. We're not even going to play with it. And as a matter of fact, when we make a decision, we're going to make our decision and we're going to put it into action. He did that when it came to putting down roads that should have been there over 100 years ago. He did that when he started developing clean water. All of this has been going on for the last 2 years, and these pale-faced people been over there for 200 years, 300 years, devils, right? And then it's like, so he is kind of like, in some way, he's implementing his plans the same way that the president of Rwanda, after the Rwanda genocide, all the killings back some time ago, I think it was about 10, 15 years ago, within the last 20 years, a new president, Paul Kagame, he came up the ranks and he took over. And when he took over, he already understood that democracy, mixed in with Europeans, with pale-faced people, it was a lie. It was a losing game. And so what he did is that he took it upon himself to boldly work with his people, implement his plans and his policy, and he didn't wait for permission. And this is what Traoré knows must have to happen. And this is what he's been doing. I mean, he's been doing it the whole time that he's been, in power, And I think that other leaders are beginning to, grab their balls, you understand, and understand that, we are either stand as a man, like James Brown said, I would rather die on my feet than to be living on my knees, right? And so I believe that that's what's going on in Africa. I'm going to keep an eye out, and I'll keep you posted on what I see. Peace, love.